Hello, I am sorry for the slight confusion there for a second. I can never get the orientation to work properly. So I apologize for that. Hopefully, those of you who are waiting on the audio live have figured it out and jumped over here. I'm going to pull it up on my computer so that I can see your comments. Looks like I'm cutting my head off a little bit, so I'm going to sink down a little bit, get comfy. Got my water, got my comments. I don't know why that orientation always gets so weird when I'm doing, when I've preset the live and then I go to actually go live and then trying to fix it. I need to figure that out. I haven't done enough of them to really figure out how to make that work. Hello, hi Jen, hi Lisa, it was so nice to meet you too. Hello, Kimberly, hi Amy. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I know when I asked about the time, there were a lot of people that said they still had to work today. I thought today was like a pretty common holiday, but it sounded like a lot of people still had to work. But I actually am going to be on an airplane during evening time, so the afternoon was really what was going to work for me. I was just trying to see if the morning or the afternoon was better for most people. So, hello. We always get this day off. The only one holiday that I feel like is a school holiday that we don't get off is Columbus Day. It's only like one of those holidays. Yes, Kim. Oh, it was so weird. It was so weird. And it was hard because I didn't want to cheer for that team because I don't like LeBron and I'm obviously over Kawhi, but I wanted LMA to win. So that was sort of like, it was kind of weird. But, and, you know, it doesn't really matter. Oh, you never get this day off. That's so strange. I don't know. I don't understand how companies decide what holidays to give off, and what holidays not to give off. And it's hard with schools because I'm pretty sure all schools have today off. And so when you have to work, that just makes it a lot more complicated. So, all right. Hello. Thank you all for joining me today. So there were a couple of comments. I posted about the live both on Instagram and on the community page, and there were a couple of questions, comments. I'm going to address those first. Then I will tell you a couple of recaps from the Chicago Planner Conference. And as always, feel free to leave questions in the comments, and I will try to get to them. Okay. Oh, you were watching the live, the vlog, and then got the notification. Well, I'm happy that you can hop over here and go finish the vlog later. The vlog that I posted today, so normally I do post weekly vlogs on Sundays. I thought I was going to have a little bit more downtime this weekend to finish filming the weekly vlog, and I did not, so it went up this morning. So go ahead and check that out. I leave my comments on the seasonal surprise box and whether or not I think that you should buy it. Spoiler alert, I think you should buy it. It's really great. Okay. So, I was editing the video of our interview. Oh, that's so funny. I can't wait to see it. All right, so the biggest comment that I got when I was talking about what topics you wanted to hear on the live, and I get this comment a lot, is the posting a video of how to make the habit stickers. Okay, and I promise I will do it. It is coming. I just have to figure out how to finagle like filming the computer screen and all that jazz. So that's why I haven't done it. But to be honest, making habit stickers is as easy as going into Word, Microsoft Word, literally type them to look like mine, right? Type the habit and then underneath write Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, printing it out on paper, cutting it with a pair of scissors, and using an adhesive roller to stick it in. That is what I did at the very, very beginning, before I had the ability to make stickers, before I really just bare bones. That is the easiest way to make it. And then I think I finally moved into PowerPoint, got a little bit more technical, and then I moved into PowerPoint and I printed on sticker paper and cut it out with scissors, and then I finally got my silhouette. So it is very simple. I want to tell you that I am going to do a video about it so that you can all the details. But I also want to mention again that I do sell them. I don't advertise it all across the universe because I don't want to spend all of my free time cutting stickers, but I understand. I know the value of the sticker and how it's impacted my life, and I do want to share that with you if it's something that you want and you don't have the ability to print things on your own, or you don't want to figure out how to make stickers. So if you are interested in them, feel free to send me an email. My email is always in the description box. Okay, not for this video because I haven't done the description box yet, but it will be if you're watching this video later. Okay, let me catch up on the comments. Oh my gosh, you took your little one to the dentist. That's so cute. I went to the dentist last week. I don't like the dentist. Okay, I may be able to screen record my screen on my computer. I don't know. I've never tried that. I asked a couple of my other YouTube friends and they said they always live from their phone. I think the camera quality on my phone might be better than doing that. Plus the angle of where I'm looking might be better. So, Jacqueline, have I done the EC box yet? I filmed the video. I am not allowed to share it yet. I have filmed the video, and my weekly vlog that I posted this morning shares my thoughts on the box without spoiling it, without telling you what's inside of it. Okay, so the other comments that I got was how I got started in planning, and then there was another comment that was how I got involved in the planner community, so I thought I would tell that story quickly. So I have love planning for, I mean, as long as I can remember. Like, I have always loved making plans. I used to get like little planners from the drugstore that my mom would buy me. And then once we got into middle school and high school, and they would give you a school planner, that was always like the best day ever. And then in college, I used a Lily Pulitzer planner. That was my like, you know, sorority girl planner in college. And then when I graduated college, I was trying to figure it out. And I tested like digital planning because I thought, you know, I'm a grown up and that's how I'm going to do it now. And then a friend of mine who actually is like not really even in the planner community, she is like an old like childhood friend, she posted on Facebook, like her normal Facebook, about Erin Condren. And I was like, I really love that quote. I love that there's a quote on the cover. That was what drew me into it. And so I ordered my first Erin Condren vertical in 2013 and haven't looked back since. And then as far as the community goes, after I started using my Erin Condren vertical, I needed a way to, or I wanted more ideas. I wanted to figure out how to better use it and just get some ideas, especially for like the sidebar and the bottom. I just wanted more ideas. So that's when I joined We Love EC, which is a Facebook group, and it's still active, We Love EC. It's not as much of a community as much because it's so big. It's gotten so big. But what I learned from We Love EC is how much people hung out on Instagram. And that is sort of what drew me over to creating a planner Instagram, was so that I could also hang out on Instagram and share pictures and ideas and get ideas. So that's sort of how I figured it out. That was sort of how I got involved. And then as far as being involved in the planner community, I think you need to be involved. I don't know how to phrase it better than just join the Facebook groups, comment, read on Instagram, comment, follow people that could bring you inspiration, and just being involved, and then it'll start to develop from there. And then going to events, that's the other big way to meet people and really be involved in the community. So, okay. The EC box will be allowed to be shown once they start shipping, because there are people who love having it to be a surprise. So once they start shipping, then we can share what's inside the box. A Franklin, I've never actually had a Franklin cubby planner. I've only ever had like the ones from the drugstore or from like Staples, and then the school ones, my Lily Pulitzer, and then Erin Condren. You're on the wait list for Go Wild. You're nervous either way. Vegas is gonna be awesome. So if you get it, do it. Like, just, it's worth it, I promise. Okay, the other questions that I got, the only other question actually that I got was what a good starter sticker kit. I'm going to combat that one a little bit and say, I think if you're starting brand new and you're trying to figure out what stickers you want to use, I almost don't recommend buying kits, because I think that they're almost too overwhelming, and trying to figure that out at the very beginning can be really, really hard. And so I think that you should buy stickers for things that you know that you plan. That's what I did at the very beginning. I placed an order from Chrissy Ann Designs. I ordered like the football stickers, like the workout stickers, like things that I knew I would put in my planner. And then I would try like using the stickers that come with your planner, no matter what type of planner that is. Most of them come with like at least a sheet or two of stickers, and to just figure out what works for you before you buy kits. I think that, again, I think kits can be a little bit overwhelming. Unless anybody has any other recommendations, I just don't. I feel like I found my style not using kits, and then I was able to get kits and make them work with my style, if that makes sense. All right. Okay, so that was all the comments that I had on the Instagram post and the community post about this live. I also thought that I would share a little bit about the Chicago Planner Conference this weekend. There will be a vlog coming that has the majority of it. I didn't pick up the camera during a lot of the downtime. Like, I captured a lot of the sessions, but I didn't, in the in-between, I was just sort of living in the moment and just sort of enjoying it with my friends and with all the people that I was meeting and just taking it all in. So there wasn't as much. I will recommend other vlogs that also captured some footage as well when I post my video, and you can watch those too if you want a different take on it. I know a lot of other YouTubers that vlogged over the course of the weekend, and I will share those with you as well. Okay, it looks like I have some questions. Hey, woo, hold on, let me scroll back up. I want to attend a planner conference. Are there any in California other than PlannerCon? So I don't know of one in California off the top of my head, Vanessa, but I'm pretty sure the West Coast Planners have a lot of local meetups. So if you join their Facebook group, the West Coast Planners, their big one this year, I believe, is in Portland or Seattle, but they have a lot of smaller groups within their big group. So that would be my recommendation for you. Who organized planner events and who is allowed to go? Anybody's allowed to go. They sell tickets, and anybody who wants to go can go. It's organized by a bunch of different places. It depends on the location. It depends on the event. They're all different in terms of how they operate and whether they do it in the same place every year, or what. Like, the Chicago Planner Conference is obviously in the same place every year. It's in Chicago. I mean, they've only done it 2 years now. Go Wild is in different cities every year. They announce a different location. So again, it varies by location. And somebody asked me recently if there was like a master list of all the planner conferences, and I wish that there was, but there is not. If you go back and watch an old live of mine, which I will link in the description when this is over, they have a lot of we talked about a lot of planner conferences, and so the comments have a lot of the big ones, but there's no like master list. Chrissy Designs has awesome sheets with full, yeah, that's a great point, Jen. So Chrissy Designs does have some great kits, but it's like 1 page or maybe even 2 pages, and it's a little bit smaller to get you started. Does my ULA work when I drink with a straw? Yes, it does. I don't have my ULA on here right now. If you don't know what we're talking about, it was in my last favorites video, and it's a little gizmo that reminds me to drink my water. I took it off because I didn't want to lose it on the airplane when I was traveling with my cup, but it does work when I drink with straw. This is actually my cup that I have at my desk at work. It's smaller than my big Yeti that I keep at home, so it's the one that I take when I travel, and I still have this ULA strap, but I took the ULA off and left it at my desk just so for safekeeping. But all it does is measure you actually picking up the cup, and so I guess you're not tilting it as much, but it does light up and give you like an acknowledgement when you took a drink, so just make sure that it lights up. Okay, I'm hoping to get chosen to volunteer for Go Wild. Yeah, that would be awesome. I guess I know they opened up volunteers, and I think it's closed at this point, but I don't think they've announced it. Kayla did post her blog today. Yeah, hers has a lot of like the vendor area, which is cool to see. It's in Portland this year. Thanks, Kim. Yeah, I believe it has been in California, and I think it's also been in Seattle. So for the person who commented about being on the West Coast, just join their Facebook group and you can keep up with their events on the West Coast. I would love to attend a planner conference. I'm new to the planner community. Do they have any on the East Coast? So there are a couple that are on the East Coast that are not as large, but a little bit smaller. I actually live in New York City. I'm in Chicago right now, but I live in New York City, and so there are a couple on the East Coast. There is I don't know where on the East Coast that you live, on the North or the South. So I was about to start talking about the Northeast, but there's also like the Southeast, so let me know. What is the biggest planner oops that you've had? That's a good question. I don't know if I know the answer to that. What is the biggest planner oops that I've ever had? I'm gonna ponder that and I will come back to you. It might be when I tried to use colored pen in my planner. That was pretty bad. I just need to stick with black pen. Oh, actually, I know what it is. It is pre-planning way too far in advance. I would schedule something and I'd be like, well, I'm going to put a sticker down because this thing is scheduled, especially things like football games, and then they would get a new time and the sticker would be wasted. That's my biggest planner oops. So that's why I use sticky notes to plan anything more than a week in advance. It goes on a sticky note, and then I will go back and then I will, the week before the Sunday before the week starts, I will plan that upcoming week. How do you find out about the planner events? Honestly, just being in the Facebook groups and following different events and planners on Instagram. I think, I wish there was some sort of master list, but the big ones are Go Wild, which is the Facebook group Planners Gone Wild. There's the West Coast Planners, there's the Chicago Planner Conference, there's Planner Con, and those are the ones off the top of my head. How I went about starting to plan and doing videos. So I talked about how I started planning at the beginning of the video, so if you jumped in a little bit later, you can go back and watch that. How I started doing videos, that, there's a couple things that led into me starting my YouTube channel. Part of it was I'd always wanted to. I really enjoy public speaking. I really enjoy speaking, and I was loving doing Instagram stories, and so I'm always in the back of my mind knew that YouTube was probably the next step, but I hadn't really found the time or the groove to start it yet. And I was taking actuarial exams for my job, and that was taking up the majority of my free time. And then it was sort of a perfect storm. All at the same time, I sort of stopped taking actuarial exams, and my boyfriend, he started a new job where he was working a lot more hours than he was before. So suddenly I had all this free time, and I wasn't spending it with him. And that all sort of led into me finally just pulling the trigger and starting the YouTube channel. You volunteered, hold on, I need to scroll back up. I'm trying to keep up with comments. I volunteered for CPC and it was awesome. Yeah, volunteering is an interesting experience. I think it's got its pros and cons, right? You get to see things from behind the scenes and you get to be very involved, but at the same time, you don't have as much freedom to do the things that you want. So it depends on how you want to be involved with the event and how excited you would be. Have I ever been in a TN? I have been dabbling with the Erin Condren Folio, which is an A5 TN, but I wouldn't say that I'm a TN person. I like the Erin Condren Petite Planners, and I use the TN to sort of like group them together. I sometimes don't even put them under the elastic. I have a video on my current planner stack that has which Petite Planners I use in my TN. I don't necessarily understand or have the creative mind to do all the other TN stuff, like the dashboards and all that kind of stuff. All right, how did I get into my career? So that's a good question. So I work for New York Life Insurance. I originally was an actuary. I'm a huge math dork. I do love math and I love analytics. I've always loved math, and my mom basically recommended that I look into being an actuary, and I thought it sounded perfect. 4-year degree, good salary, steady job, sounds good. And then I did that, and after a couple of years, it just wasn't satisfying me. It was a lot. I needed more people. I need more human interaction. And so that's when I moved over to more marketing, communication, and product support, still within New York Life Insurance. Yes, I agree, Ava. It takes a lot of self-restraint not to plan far in advance when you have kids that you like, but it is worth it in the end. Jessica, I have not gotten monetized yet. Thank you for asking, but unfortunately I do not have good news. I don't know. So for those of you that don't know, YouTube created these new requirements to be monetized, and you have to hit a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of hours watched, and then once you hit those, you are automatically sent in for review. I hit those in October of last year. It automatically submitted me for review, and it says that I am still under review. I have tried tweeting at them. I have tried emailing customer service. I have tried messaging them on Instagram. I don't know what else to do, honestly. And you can't undo it and resubmit. And at this point, I would like if they would just tell me no and give me a reason that I could fix. I don't know what I'm doing wrong that is keeping them from approving me, but I just said, all it says is that I'm still under review. So I no. So Jen, what I did post a YouTube video after I hit the qualifications, giving people a heads up that ads were coming, because it said that once you hit the qualifications, it would take about a month to be reviewed. And I thought I would just get approved. I didn't think I was doing anything wrong. So I made a video saying that ads were coming and I was going to be monetized, and I still haven't heard from them. So yeah, it's really hard. I'm trying not to complain about it a lot, because if being monetized was the only reason I was doing YouTube, then I need to reevaluate my priorities, because at the end of the day, the ad revenue isn't that big of a deal. I mean, it is. I mean, it would be nice, but it's not so much income that I'm like, that would be the only reason I'm doing YouTube. So that's why I'm trying not to freak out about it. But yeah, that's the current situation. You're welcome, Erica. Yeah, if you have any other questions about being an actuary, you can message me. It's an amazing job. It just, there were things about it that ended up not being for me. Thanks, Sam. I hope it gets sorted out soon as well. It's just, it is incredibly, what's frustrating is that I just don't know what's going on. Like, there's nobody telling me why or what they want me to fix or do. Again, if they could just decline me and tell me what to fix, I would do that. But the fact that I'm just like in limbo, it's just frustrating. So, all right, back to, unless there's any other questions, I'm gonna go back to a little bit about the Chicago Planner Conference. So it was sort of a 3-day event, but really it was a 1-day event. So Friday night was, they had registration, and then they had the vendors open. It was called Sip and Shop, and they had a cash bar, and then you could go shopping at the vendors. And they had a lot of vendors, but it was a little bit crowded in there, and it was just like a little bit overwhelming, and I was trying not to shop because I didn't want to have to take anything home. So I sort of did like a quick loop around the vendors, but I didn't really go that in depth. So a lot of Friday night was honestly just spent kind of hanging out with my friends, and we sort of chatted, and we went and hung out in the lobby a little bit. We met some people, and it was sort of really relaxing. And hello, Naomi. Are you going to make fun of my vlog and the fact that I don't understand what those sizes are of those sheets? I felt like such an idiot. And then Saturday was the big chunk of it. So it started out with a general session, and both Kristen Damian of Christian Designs and Amber of Damask Love spoke. They both did an amazing job. Kristen sort of just did a Reader's Digest version of her story for those that don't know it, sort of where she started and what her full-time job was, and then starting Christian Designs, and then moving into stickers, and then making it full-time, and then getting into Michaels. It was sort of that whole process, and talking about going after your dreams, which was really great. And then Amber sort of talked about why she plans and why it's important to her. She was very inspiring. It was a little hard at the beginning, because she was talking about all these things that define her and why she plans. And it was like being a mom, being a wife, being an extrovert, and being an entrepreneur. And I was like, I'm none of those things. I am not a mom or a wife she's an introvert, I'm an extrovert, and I'm not an entrepreneur, really. I have a 9-to-5 job. And so I was like, I didn't really click with that right away, but then, she ended up talking about more things, and I did get something out of her keynote. It was just sort of like, that wasn't really me. And then there were breakout sessions. So that is the one thing that I really like about the Chicago Planner Conference, is that they let you pick different workshops. And while some people are like huge FOMO, and you're like, but I want to go to all the workshops, I really appreciate that I'm not going to go sit in a workshop that is something that's not going to apply to me. Like, as we talked about, I'm not really a TN person when it comes to like all the extra stuff, like the dashboards and all the things. So I'm not going to go sit in a TN workshop. Or there was like a watercoloring workshop. It's not really my thing. But on the flip side, there were a lot of workshops about like being on YouTube or working with brands. And there are people who are probably like, I couldn't care less about that. I have no desire to do any of that. I'm just here because I like to plan, and they want to go to the TN workshop and the watercolor workshop. So I just really like that option to go to different things that really apply to you. So the first one I went to was meal planning with Nina, my friend Nina, and I had been in her Wild 30 before, so I knew a lot of what she was saying, but I still wanted to support her, and you can always hear things more than once, right? And then the second session was a panel that I was on, and it was about working with brands and being a PR person, which I don't necessarily like that term, and we talked about how I don't like the term influencer, but it was a really great panel. It was moderated by Sam Kerr of Aaron Contrin, and I think we just had a good discussion about what it's like to work with brands from both the brand side, from Sam's perspective, as well from our side. And there were 3 other ladies on the panel with me. Jo Mel, who works with a bunch of different brands like Carpe Diem and Doodlebug, and I don't even remember who else. And then Heather Kell, who works with Happy Planner. So it was good to have people that worked with different brands on the panel. Yes, Sam, I agree with you as well that having the workshops being a lot smaller. I mean, this conference I think was about 450 I think was the number. So the general session was all 450 people, and it was a lot. But then the smaller ones were like 50 people to a room. And so it was so much more intimate and so much smaller, and it just really felt like you were making eye contact with as both the speaker and as the attendee, as opposed to being in a room of 400 people or 1,300 people in Go Wild's case. And again, there's pros and cons of both. I talked to somebody who was like, yeah, but I feel like I'm missing out on the speakers. And it's like, yeah, but at the same time, then I feel like I'm getting more out of it, I think, than when it's a big group. And then the last workshop was mine solo, which was my first solo presentation workshop at a planner event. And like I said, I do love public speaking, and it was on time management, which is really awesome. And I am planning on doing a Reader's Digest version of time management on a video. There was a lot of requests for that. I won't be able to go into the same details I did in the workshop, and there were a lot of great questions and interaction as well. But it was an hour. I had a whole hour with them, and so I'm not going to post an hour video about time management. That would seems counterproductive. So I'm going to do probably a little bit shorter, and I'm going to share the big tips, the big ones, but it won't be quite as long. Oh, thank you, Lisa. That means a lot. I think I was a little nervous being the last one of the day. I think people were a little tired, but same thing about the workshop that I say with videos. If there is one person out there that gets something out of it, one person that really, like, they hear something that impacts their life, I'm good. And that's all. So a couple of people that came up and said things, like, that is all that matters. So thank you so much. I am still time tracking in my TN, my Aaron Gardner folio. So I do still, that is something that I'm still doing, and that was a big part of it too. Tracking it was one of the tips that I gave. So, and then the evening part at the conference was kind of confusing, if I'm being honest. So they called it Planner Night Live, and then they had a couple of different things going on. There was a de-stash room. There was a calligraphy session with Jessica Chung that you had to pay extra for. There was a meet and greet. There was the live podcast with Planner Girl Chatter, and then there was karaoke. And those were right next to each other, which sound-wise did not work out very well. But it was all in different rooms, and I felt like, I don't know. It was kind of like the year that Plan Jamma was at 3 different bars, and I wanted them to all be in one room, so I didn't feel like I was missing out on anything. That's kind of how I felt about this. So, but at the same time, I didn't actually know where I wanted to be. So we started out just kind of hanging out, honestly. Like, a group of us sat at a table in the de-stash room, not actually the de-stash, but just to chat and hang out, like just a group of friends. And then we went into the karaoke room for like a second, and it was just a little loud, and I was not in that mindset. I love to sing and I love to dance, but that was not, after a long day of talking, I was not in that kind of mood. And then we ended up sitting and listening to the rest of the Planner Girl Chatter live. So it was sort of interesting. I don't know if that was my favorite part of it. And then Sunday there was a brunch. I did not attend the brunch on Sunday. It was an additional cost. And I ended up doing a couple of other things, actually filming some videos with some ladies that will be coming soon. I got to sit down. I actually sat down with 6 women over the weekend and filmed a video to bring some of their knowledge to you. I I'm not going to tell you who, although you can probably guess who some of them are. You probably might be able to guess who all of them are. And they will be coming out over the course of the next month and a half. It's going to be a series that we're doing in March, so I'm excited to share those with you. You wouldn't do brunch again. Okay, that's good to know, Lisa. I'm glad I didn't miss out on anything crazy at brunch. I've been there before, and it's fun, but it's not like, I didn't feel the need to pay $40 to go to brunch on Sunday. Okay, any other questions about Chicago Planner Conference? Again, the vlog will be coming, and I will link other vlogs that you can check out, but in terms of just questions. The brunch was at Pinstripes, which was right by the hotel. Although I don't know that people actually bowled. It was just come and go as you please. Yeah, which is also the other hard part. If you're trying to actually see somebody and meet people, I think that that's really hard. And I felt the same way about Saturday night. I would have loved to meet more people, but it depended on what room I was sitting in, kind of thing, where people would come and meet me. Is it in the same location each year? They've only done it 2 years, and it's been at different hotels each year. So, and I think that's partially because they grew. Like, it was a bigger event this year than it was last year. So I don't know if they're planning on moving hotels or not. I loved the hotel. I thought the hotel was great. I was trying to think if there's any complaints I had about the hotel. I don't think so. I really liked the hotel. I liked all the options. I had a great view from my room. So, all right. It was good though. It was still a great event, and I like the workshop option, which I don't get at Go Wild. Our conference is always over a weekend and lasts the whole weekend. Nope. There are a lot of conferences that are only a day or even half of a day. Or Go Wild actually starts on Thursday night, and it's like Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's longer than that. So it depends on the event. They're all different. Some are multiple days, some are one day. It depends. Is it always President's Day weekend? The past 2 years, the Chicago Planner Conference has been President's Day weekend. So I don't know if they plan on doing that again. Seems a little bit not a good idea to have a conference in Chicago in February. In fact, my flight today is delayed. It stopped snowing, but it had been snowing since like yesterday all through this morning. And so I think it's just a domino effect, and now my flight's delayed. So February in Chicago might not be the best idea, but so far. Do I have a list of planner people I suggest? I list them in favorites videos, and you follow many of them, always looking for suggestions. So I just did a video on my favorite YouTube channels, but they weren't all planner people. As far as planner people, I've sort of been trying to like trim down the number of planner people that I follow. I feel like I talked about this somewhere. I've been trying to make my Instagram a lot more inspirational, and as far as planners go, I know that I have a style. So my suggestions would be to search the hashtags of the planner that you're using. So like if you're using an Erin Condren, search the Erin Condren hashtag. And then scroll through those, and if you see a picture of something that inspires you or something that you like, then follow that person for now. And then if they continue to inspire you, keep following them. And if they don't, do not feel bad about unfollowing them. Because I think everybody's style is different. Things that people use, everybody uses different things. And I think sometimes there are people out there that are not huge and they don't have a huge number of followers, but they're using their planner in a way that's going to inspire you. So that would be my biggest recommendation in terms of finding inspiration of people to follow. Oh, thank you, Amy. I'm trying to catch up on the comments again. You don't want to attend Go Wild alone. So I've heard that before, and I understand where you're coming from. I think Go Wild it's a big event, so it can seem overwhelming, but they also create a Facebook group before it happens, and you can find people that either live in your city that you can fly there with, or drive there with, or that to find roommates so that you can meet people before you actually go. And I know it's not the same as going with somebody that you know in real life, but heck, if they live in your city, you can meet them in real life first. I loved all the Instagrammers that were impressed with the snow. Yes. The biggest ones, go follow the Arizona Planner Girl Chatter girls. They're like obsessed with the snow that's happening. I would consider CPC in the future years if they move it to summer or fall. Yeah. It's also probably more expensive, right, in the nicer weather than it is in February. And that's the one thing about CPC that I have been impressed with both years was the prices that they had for both the ticket and the hotel have been really good. Stan says you can follow the hashtag. That's a good idea too. So if you're using a horizontal or a vertical or an hourly, EC horizontal, EC hourly. Yeah, I just want to reiterate, like, don't feel bad unfollowing somebody that's not inspiring you. Like and actually I even saw someone post a quote this morning that was like, unfollowing people on Instagram doesn't mean you're a bad person. It means you're a focused person. It means that you want your feed to actually bring you value and not following people because you should or because you used to. Hold on, I'm trying to catch up. Okay. So there's someone going alone. See, you can go alone. Traveling alone can be hard. I love to travel, so that's not necessarily an issue for me. But again, what I have seen people do is find people to carpool with in the Facebook group. And the brunch idea. So what Naomi is talking about is this will be our 4th year. Every year I have hosted a pre-Go Wild brunch in New York City for the New York City girls that are going to go wild. And the first year there were like 6 of us, and then it's grown, and last year I think there were like 30, which was a little bit crazy. But it has allowed us to get to know each other. And then we also have a Facebook group that it's like, when are you flying? Let's meet at the airport. We got t-shirts. Like, your local group can meet before you actually go wild. And yes, follow the hashtags. Do I have the inside scoop and know if Erin Condren is coming out with a lined vertical? I do not. I know nothing about that. Is that a thing that people have heard about? I don't know. I don't know if I would like it to have lines, to be honest. Sorry. I may be in the opposite camp as everybody else on that. I don't want lines in my vertical. I would be okay if it was one big vertical box instead of the 3 sections, but I don't think I want lines. Sorry. I feel like that's not the common opinion on that, though. I think I caught up on all the comments. Any other questions? If it unlines, you'd be okay with pen only. Yeah, I see that. I could see it being valuable for pen only. Or it would be really good for those who want to turn a vertical into an hourly and be able to control their hours. I was talking to somebody about this morning, actually, and talking about the time tracking and time management, how they wanted to try out the hourly, Erin Condren, and I said, yeah, I would love to also, but it ends at 7 p.m. My day does not end at 7 p.m. Like, I wish it did, but it didn't. And even on the weeknights, when it kind of is ending at like 9:30 nowadays, that is not true on the weekends. I would need it to go to at least 9. At least 9. You hated the lines in the horizontal. Yeah, I think it's hit or miss on the lines, and it's easier for no lines to have a sticker with lines than it is for the people that don't want the lines necessarily to maybe cover it up. I don't know if that's true. Thank you, Heidi. I do wish the neutral vertical had solid lines. I have the hardest time with the dotted. That's interesting. I've never thought about that as a issue before. I'll tell you what I want. I want a neutral inside with colored tabs. That's what I want. That would be my perfect Erin Condren setup. I don't need the color on the week, and I think I would want the color on the monthly. I think if I got to be very picky, I would have colorful monthlies, but I guess I could always add stickers to that. The big thing is the tabs. I like the neutral inside, because I can add my own color to that, but I could not look at black tabs for a whole year. Oh, that would make me so sad and depressing. I have hourly, but white out the times. Oh, that's interesting. That sounds like a lot of work, though, to white them out every day, every week. I do like how pen only looks. Although the only person I feel like who I like when they do pen only is Jen Dufour. Put lines on everything. Didn't they do it in the monthly squares, Sam, for when they first came out with the hourly or the horizontal? One of those. When they first came out with the hourly or the horizontal, the monthly had lines. And I know that some people really liked those. Amy, oh, I knew someone would call me out. I didn't realize it until after I posted it. Yes, I did not include how I incorporated my word of the year. I'll tell you, last week was absolutely insane. I think my progress was just functioning as a human. Like, the fact that we went to LA impromptu, and then I had a couple of days and turn around and come here, it was just a little bit crazy. So I did not really incorporate my word of the year last week. I had the hourly last year and hated that it didn't start till 6. Okay, so you're the other way around. I guess I would want it to start maybe a little bit earlier too, but my bigger issue is with the nighttime. But yeah, everybody struggles with the hours. Oh, I'm trying to. I want the color just for the tabs. Yes, yes. Okay, I'm gonna maybe drop that hint again because I want just the colored tabs, but I don't want the color on the inside. But every year since they've come out with the neutral option, I've prioritized having colored tabs over the neutral inside. I'm starting out with just the monthly. I think just the monthly is a great option for people who haven't quite figured out which layout works best for them. Yes to neutral inside and colored tabs. All right, we just need to start a petition. Aaron Contra, neutral inside, colored tabs. Neutral inside, colored tabs. Horizontal from Michaels, and you're starting to hate the lines. Interesting. If the hourly didn't have times on it, it would be perfect. Well, then it wouldn't be an hourly, right? It would be a vertical with lines, which is I think what people want. No times on hourly. I also really like the idea of a customized time option. Like, I could pick what time it starts and what time it stops. But now that I think about it, I don't think there's enough lines for what I would want. I would want it to go from 5 a.m. to 10 p.m. I think that would be my ideal. I don't think there's space for that, right? Because it goes from 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. There's not space for that. I struggle with the 7 by 9 size. I need something smaller. So that's interesting. They did come out with a smaller one for the focus planner. Have you looked at that? Does that look like it would work for your life? And make everything the same size. Her stickers don't line up on the sidebar. Are you talking about Air Content stickers, Jessica? Customized time would be option. Maybe it could be broken into intervals. I don't really know how that would work. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I would use an hourly if it even came out, because then from 9 to 5 I would just block it off and it would be work and it would be such a waste of space. I guess my ideal hourly then would be 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. and then 5 p.m. to 10 p.m. That's so ridiculous. That's never going to be a planner. What is my favorite washi or stickers? My favorite washi, it's probably just the washi from Michaels. I like the simple colors, like the pack they have with all the colored options. My favorite stickers at the moment are the Christiane Design stickers. The new paper is magical, it's removable, she has so many options. So neutral, but that's why I haven't bought it. I can't handle the big size. Interesting. So you want it in that size, but with color. That makes sense now. Yeah, the EC checklist stickers don't line up with the sidebar lines. I see what you're saying, Jessica. I don't know if that's where they're meant to go, though. Maybe that's why. The EC daily is a smaller TN size. That's true. If you want a smaller, it's got color in it, but it's daily. I don't know if you want a daily layout. Except on the weekends, yes. I was just thinking the same things. On the weekends, I went back to the whole thing. Actually, I don't need 5 a.m. on the weekends. I don't get up at 5 a.m. on the weekends. On the weekends, then I'd want like 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. I'm so picky. But I feel like Cindy and I talked about this. Even if I had the perfect planner, it probably wouldn't be perfect. And I probably wouldn't want to use it. Oh my gosh, the notebook they gave for the swag with the Chicago Planner Conference. Oh, it's beautiful. If it wasn't packed, I'd pull it out and show it to you. But it's beautiful. All right, Naomi, same. That is why I use 2 different planners, one for work and one for home, because it's just, my life is different at home and at work. Okay. Katie from Michaels or from her site? Both. The paper from her site is I prefer it. It's removable as opposed to the stuff from Michaels, but the stuff from Michaels is less expensive and the designs are just as cute. The stuff on her website, you get to be very picky about if you want a full sheet of soccer balls because you have a lot of soccer to mark, versus at Michaels it's going to be a sampler of things. So that's the pros and cons. Okay, I think we're going to wrap this up soon because I don't want this to be super long so people can go back and watch it later. But thank you so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any other questions that you have, please feel free to drop them in the comments. Whether we talked about a lot about the Chicago Planner Conference and conferences in general. We talked about what our perfect planner would look like. I kind of love how it evolved into that. And I hope that you enjoyed hanging out today. I am planning on doing another live next month. I need to confirm with Sam that he's okay with it on the day that I want to do it. If I can confirm him, then I will tell you the date now, soon, so you can put it in your planners now. Gabriella, I use a Kit Life for work. I posted a couple pictures of it on Instagram if you want to check it out. I've been using the Kit Life weekly. Thank you. Yes, I'm flying home, headed back to New York. How to plan within a small budget. That's a great video suggestion. Thank you, Heidi. All right, thank you guys so much for hanging out today. If you like this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here, please click that subscribe button. I upload new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thank you so much for hanging out.